child, they're less likely to end up in jail, but they have the same statistical chance as children raised by just their father. Girls with no fathers in the home have lower self-esteem. No father families more likely to be victims of abuse, especially with single mothers. Children with high BMI more often come from fatherless homes. Here's something: fathers have the fittest children. That was really interesting to me. The more opportunities a child has to interact with biological father, the less likely they are to commit a crime or have contact with the juvenile justice system. Okay, another way to say that is men and women who are incarcerated, the population of the prisons mostly encompass fatherless homes. Now, here's something that no one else has mentioned, which I think is cool, and I don't really say this eloquently. If a man and wife raise a child, they're less likely to end up in jail, but they have the same statistical chance as children raised by just their father.
Kol halo Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai Bahashem Bakaha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS, who I learn from on a daily. Shalom to the hopeful elect, preaching His word in truth and sincerity, and to you, Rib, to you sisters out there, learning in silence and staying in order. Right, I had watched this video, and it basically put the spirit on me to put this together, because this is a plague that really affects a lot of Jake homes, done systematically. You see, the father's what holds the glue of the house together, not the woman, as is taught to you here in Babylon. Really, it's the man that holds the family together, right? Because even if a man and a woman are in a relationship, and when that man goes to work or whatever, the female feels even the female feels like alone or incomplete in a sense, right? So when the father's there to preserve stability, and guidance in the home, and that is his total duty. This is Titus 2, verse 1. But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine, that the aged man be sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith, in charity, in patience. And this is temperate in the Greek G4998.
Strong's G 4998. Sophron.
Sophron, which means to be of sound mind, sane in one sense, curbing one's desire and impulses, self-control, temperate, right? Level-headed, right? Because the opposite of that might indicate you might have a demon that you might have to exercise and work on your faith, right? Verse 2, and the aged men be sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith and in charity, right? Charity goes into the work that we put into, the time that we spend, and also could go into tithes. These are actions. These are righteous actions, right? It says in patience. Verse 3, and the aged woman likewise, that they be in behavior as becoming holiness, right? That means separateness. Separate from what? From the customs, from the eye of, from the eye of society. Society has a real lustful eye, where, women basically dress and do what they want out here, right? To be separate from that type of behavior. It says not false accusers, right? Jumping to conclusions, as they say. Right? These are some of the reasons why men leave anyway because Esau gives power to the woman to feel like she could move like this and not need him, right? So she does all kinds of undetestable acts to push the man away. So not giving too much wine teaches of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husband, to love their children. Verse 5, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai be not blasphemed. Right? These are the things that's going to keep the man from allowing, this is going to allow the man to basically set rules, laws, and regulations in a peaceful and orderly manner, right? Because men don't want to be ruling over an unruly woman, and 9 times out of 10, the society breeds them. that's the issue that men are having today. On top of Esau putting regulations, rules, and things of that nature to make it a lot harder for the man to do his job. Right? When you knock the head off, the body follows. I'm gonna give you an example, right? There was a woman by the name of Margaret Sanger, and she was part of eugenics. As a matter of fact, I got the video pulled out. Let me just play a little bit of it.
A Mike Wallace interview. In the eyes of some, Margaret Sanger has been a heroine. In the eyes of others, she's been a destructive force.
In her own words, Sanger pushed for a society that limited births to those she deemed fit to have children.
I think the greatest sin in the world is bringing children into the world that have disease from their parents, that have no chance in the world to be a human being, practically. Delinquents, prisoners, all sorts of things just marked when they're born.
In 1916, Sanger opened the country's first birth control clinic. As a member of the American Eugenics Society, she advocated improving the genetic composition of humans through controlled reproduction of different races and classes. She often wrote about the issue in the journal she founded, called the Birth Control Review. In 1919, writing,
I personally believe in the sterilization of the feeble-minded, the insane, and the syphilitic. The most urgent problem today is how to limit and discourage the over-fertility of the mentally and physically defective.
Many point to a 1923 New York Times interview as proof of Sanger's racist motives, in which she referred to people as weeds, saying,
It means the release and cultivation of the better racial elements in our society, and the gradual suppression, elimination, and eventual extirpation of defective stocks, those human weeds which threaten the blooming of the finest flowers of American civilization.
Hayden Ludwig, an investigative researcher, has extensively studied Sanger's life and writings.
She talked about the need for race betterment through controlling these weeds, basically undesirable people.
In 1939, after opening another clinic in Harlem, the birth control activist launched the Negro Project, an initiative supported by Black leaders, such as civil rights activist W.E.B. Du Bois. Critics claim the program used the pretense of better health and family planning for poor Blacks.
Man, you see how they use our people to push these things, man. That's why when that C-19 J to the A to the B came out, they had put a Jake woman as the one who put it together, so then that way Jakes could take it freely. They still doing this right now. They started it back up again, and then they put Jake face up again, right? Because they're the ones who are more suspicious to these things. Not only that, they set trends, and their voice matters in a sense, because a lot of the culture and music, basketball, all these things, they have some type of influence but no power. So they put Jake up there because you're the most resilient to these things.
The South, as an attempt to limit the Black race. Ludwig says some on the left grapple with Sanger's past and how to interpret her legacy.
They know when she writes about human weeds, they know that it's repulsive. They know it's disgusting. The left will never abandon.
Well, that's it on that, man. I don't want to go too deep into the Margaret Sanger thing because that's not what this is about. This is about setting your house in order, right? And it starts with the man on down, all the way down to the children, right? Because the children are important in these things. The children are very important in this, right? This is the book of Proverbs 22. Verse 6, train up a child in the way he should go, right? And we always, reverence the Father, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua, in the name of his Son, right? So we would like our children to go that way, right? That is our goal, right? A lot of men desire their children to be doctors and dentists and all these other things, but the man of the Lord strive and teach the children to go in the way of their fathers, right? It says, and when he is old, he will not depart from it, right? He will hold that dear, man, that knowledge and wisdom. This is Deuteronomy 28:32. And thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, right? This happened in the transatlantic slave trade, right? In a sense, it's happening now too. Because what happens, we go to work 8 hours, our children have to go to school and have put in the hands of our enemies to be taught things to indoctrinate them to be part of the society, right? And right now, they're teaching curriculums that they're not telling the parents, right, that we don't approve of. There's been parents that have walked into classrooms. Matter of fact, let me get something. Here it is.
Excuse me, this is a public school, little lady. You are excused. You see what's on this side? No. This needs to go exactly where it is, in the garbage. You need to go in the garbage. I'm teaching my son to grow up to be a man. And I don't want you hanging no flag. I'm calling security. Hanging a flag up for you to sit up there.
And that's her duty, right? She's teaching her son to be a man, right? Because that's what her husband told her to. Right, this is the correct order, and this damn Shedamite is going with the curriculum of Babylon. This is what they're doing to our children. See, I can see why she's upset. See, this is what they're doing. It says, thy sons and daughters shall be given unto another people, right? And they're teaching them these things, man. It says, and thine eyes shall look and fare with longing for them all day long, right? At this point, we at a time where, we send our kids to class and we pray to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua that this is not happening in our schools. They got books with all kinds of absurd, hypersexual books in the library, right? We need Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua to come through.
And teach them the type of stuff I'm trying to keep them away from.
I told you what would happen. I told you somebody can't gonna get mad.
You need to be teaching history.
33, please.
No, you need to be teaching history.
Shut up.
No, I'm not getting out of nowhere. I'm not getting out of nowhere. Hey, no, you don't tell my son to shut up. You talking to me.
Your son is failing.
Deuteronomy 28:32, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand. Right? There's no power for us to stop this, because if we was to really get together and fight this thing, it's gonna get at this point it's gonna get really violent, man, because Esau's not gonna stop, for one. And two, Esau's starting to rip kids out of homes for you not putting them in schools. Right now, some places are allowed to homeschool, which is great. I know a brother who homeschools, which is beautiful. Some people don't have that option. See, this is a real serious thing going on. This was important. The man in the house is important, especially a man of the Lord. This is Isaiah chapter 13:12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Right? The men of the Lord are important, right? And are going to be beautified. So this is why it's important for the man of the Lord to be around their children, to teach the children. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 30, and verse 2. He that chastises his son shall have joy in him, and shall rejoice of him among his acquaintances. He that teaches his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. Right? The enemies grieve. Why? Because he don't got a stranglehold on him. He don't have that lie, that veil over his eyes, that everything's all good, that evolution is real, things of that nature. That's what they're teaching the kids in school. Right? He's gonna know these things. He's gonna know that there's a power, and his name is Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai. Right? So when he dies, he carries on those teachings. Right? Verse 4, though his father die, yet he is all as though he were not dead. For he has left one behind that is like himself. And how much more beautiful is it that a son goes in the way of his father and follows him unto righteousness. It's a beautiful thing. It says, while he liveth, he saw and rejoiced in him, and when he died, he was not sorrowful. He left behind him an avenger against his enemies, and one that shall requite kindness to his friends. That's a beautiful thing, man. And that's why it's important, man, that, in the last days, that if we're not in our kids' lives, that, we make the effort to get closer to them, and teach them as much as possible towards the end, in patience and meekness, because prophecies are unfolding right now. We need more patience and faith, more so now than we ever did. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 33, verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, right? So the more we teach our children, the more patience, understanding, right, they have at the time of JT. So, and strength of salvation, the fear of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai is his treasure. That's the goal, man. The goal is to see us and our families enter those chariots and escape the second death, which is these ICBM missiles. With everything going on, in the east, all around us, it's most important now than ever that we hold the family nucleus, as they say, together. It's one of our jobs. With that, I'm going to say shalom.